You might be here because you're searching how to elope in Montana, which means you and your partner are probably an adventurous type of couple. You love mountains and rivers, and maybe you love adventurous activities like skiing and snowboarding or fishing, or you love bopping around small towns. You love the art scene of Missoula or breweries in Bozeman. Overall, you just want to make the beginning of your marriage an experience in a really, really, really cool place rather than spending a ton of money on a big party for a bunch of other people. If you've been looking for a stunning location for a destination wedding or mountain elopement, then you've come to the right place. We're gonna be diving into everything you need to know about eloping in Montana. Let's do this. First of all, there are 5 different major airports in Montana, and we'll kind of structure this video around those airports. There's Billings Logan International, Great Falls International Airport, Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport, Glacier Park International Airport, and the Missoula International Airport. When you're planning your elopement, make sure to be mindful of which airport you are flying into, and honestly, make sure you rent a car if you're flying. If you live in one of the surrounding states, then I highly, highly, highly suggest making a road trip out of your adventure. First of all, let's talk about the best time of year to elope in Montana. Montana is stunning in the spring, but make sure you only book your elopement for the spring months if you are down for anything weather-wise. Spring is our rainy season. There's also a ton of snow still. Snow melt is happening in most of the destination elopement locations that you might be thinking of, and many hiking trails will still be closed. But if you don't mind a little rain and possibly snow, you'll get to enjoy wildflowers blooming, the foliage getting greener and more lush, and views of snow-capped mountains in all directions. Spring in Montana is lovely, just be down for anything. The summer is perfect for you if you are dreaming of a hiking mountain elopement. The most iconic location for an elopement in Montana is obviously Glacier National Park, and going to the Sun Road typically opens like the first week of July. This is also true for more remote mountain locations. A lot of times these hikes aren't accessible by the logging roads that you have to use to get to the trailheads until the snow has melted. The one thing to be mindful about when you're getting married in Montana in the summer is that it's tourist season. There will be a lot more people in all the prettiest locations, and you also run the risk of running into wildfire season. There could be smoke from Montana or from surrounding states in Canada. Fall in Montana is my personal favorite. I am a pumpkin spice bitch, basically. But fall is gorgeous. The tamaracks are famous for a reason. There's just orange and yellow and fiery reds surrounding you along with all the mountainscapes. But the weather can be unpredictable, so if you're planning a fall wedding in Montana, also be down for a winter vibe because you could get snow. A winter elopement is beautiful, but you're more restricted to locations that are nearer to your car. That is totally fine by me if it's fine by you, but think about it. You can also do a skiing or snowboarding elopement followed by cuddling in a mountain lodge with hot cocoa or whiskey or both, and then you could finish off the day by going to a hot springs. Sounds fun to me. Why should you elope in Montana? I'm an avid traveler, and I've lived in Montana for more than half my life at this point. I still find this place endlessly inspiring. My couples travel here to start their marriages because they have a deep reverence for nature. They want to prioritize exploring and traveling in their marriages, and they want a curated experience that can hold outdoor adventure and amazing food and culture and history and people all in one experience, and Montana is definitely the place for that. I might be biased, but to me, there's an endless number of reasons to elope in Montana, so let's dive into a few. The scenery is literally breathtaking. We have everything. We have rivers and lakes and mountains, every type of weather you can think of, every type of terrain. I don't talk much about eastern Montana, but it's honestly lovely. Montana is home to not one, but two incredible national parks, Glacier National Park and Yellowstone National Park. While there are plenty of touristy locations, it's also fairly easy to find remote locations and get away from the crowds if you're willing to be in a really remote, isolated part of the country. There's so many adventurous activities you can do, like rafting and fly fishing and skiing, snowboarding, going to hot springs, going to breweries, I don't know, hiking, horseback riding. I've seen people rent llamas for hikes, I don't know. There is so much wildlife in Montana. If you want to see deer and bison and bears and moose and elk, all the wildlife, come here. Montana is home to the most amazing small towns. I could list hundreds that I just love. The larger towns, namely Missoula, Butte, Bozeman, are a blast. They have so much going on in the art and music scene and breweries and tons of amazing local restaurants, and bar hopping and going out dancing is super fun in all of the towns. These are all gateways to some of the best nature and scenery you can imagine too. So combining a small town charm and even the bigger town charm with adventure sessions is a really good mix for people that like the nightlife scene and also going out in nature. So let's talk about the best places to elope in Montana. Montana seriously has so many different places to elope, from beautiful lakes to lush forests, even to some urban vibes. There are so many places to choose from. Glacier National Park. This is my stomping grounds. I obviously love when couples choose to elope here in Glacier. In fact, I have a whole blog post and a whole other video dedicated to Glacier National Park. Northwest Montana in general, there's so many different areas to choose from, but Northwest Montana is the place to be if you want mountains, lakes, and tons of incredible hiking. For Glacier National Park in Northwest Montana, that's going to be that Glacier Park International Airport in Kalispell, Montana. And then moving on to Missoula area, you'll fly into Missoula International Airport, and Missoula itself is such a vibe. I love Missoula. I love the idea of going to a surrounding area spot for an adventure session, but ending in downtown Missoula with an awesome dinner, or like going to Plonk, the wine bar, and bopping around, maybe catching some live music outside or at one of the local bars, or watching the surfers in the Clark Fork. People do river surfing in there. You could get ice cream from Sweet Peaks while you watch the surfers, and go bar hopping in the evening and end the night at the Pie Hole. I think this elopement or micro wedding structure would be so good for an alumni of University of Montana. That just sounds so fun. But in the surrounding area, there's the Bitterroot, which is so beautiful, the Alberton Gorge, or you can go to the Swan Valley. Next, we have Butte, which is a historic mining town. Butte is so cool. People kind of make fun of it, but I think it's so beautiful. Uptown is iconic, would be so much fun. And combining with Butte, you could go to the Phillipsburg Anaconda area for your adventure session. That's home to Georgetown Lake and Discovery Ski Hill. There's so much we can build into an elopement in the Butte area. I also lived in Phillipsburg for 4 years, so I know this area super well. Helena is always a good choice. Then you have the Bozeman area. Bozeman is such a special city in Montana. A lot of my best friends live in Bozeman, so it's always really fun for me to get to go shoot there. It's really fun because you can combine more like city activities and do a really cool styled micro wedding in like a really cool older building there, and then do an adventure session outside of Bozeman. I'm always down for that. Livingston area is right next to Bozeman, super cool. It's the gateway to Yellowstone, so if you're into Yellowstone, that's where you want to be. Dillon, Montana, I have to stick Dillon in here. It's where my husband went to college. If you love fly fishing, if you love skiing, if you love hiking, and if you love cowboy culture, then Dillon is where you want to be. I'm throwing a lot at you in this video, but I also have to say, if you want even more information on where to stay for your elopement and a deeper breakdown of all of these different locations, check out my blog. You can check out the blog in general for resources at montanadiaries.com/thediary, or you can click the link below for this Montana elopement guide that you can read through in its entirety. Getting married in Montana is so easy. All you have to do is find the courthouse for the county that you're getting married in. Even if you don't end up getting married in the same county, that's totally fine in Montana. You can get your marriage license the exact same day. You could even sign it when you pick it up and file it without even bringing it with you. For more about Montana marriage laws though, then please just head to the blog below. Finally, let's cap this off by giving you some ideas for activities for your Montana elopement. I think a scenic hike is a must in Montana, visiting Yellowstone National Park or Glacier National Park. Take a scenic drive along Going to the Sun Road in Glacier. Take a romantic evening soak in a local hot springs. Go skiing or snowboarding at one of the many ski hills. Go horseback riding in the mountains. Go kayaking or paddleboarding. Go bar hopping in a downtown. Get a tablescape designer to curate you a beautiful table and combine that with hiring a private chef at your Airbnb. That's always a fun one. There are 0 rules. That is my motto. No matter where you elope, just jot down anything and everything that sounds fun and then let me help with the logistics. I'm Shay, I own Montana Diaries. I am your adventurous photographer and videographer for laid-back couples who prioritize experience and story over posing and perfection. We are going to plan a day that is an experience for you. It's not going to be centered around pretty photos and videos, because in Montana especially, no matter what you do, the photos and videos will be gorgeous. So let's just focus on planning the best day ever. Be sure to check out more at montanadiaries.com. Let me know if you have any questions. I cannot wait to hear all about your elopement.